One of the key lessons in life that God has taught me is that God goes to great effort to build a relationship with each one of us. The Bible is full of passages where God has shown his desire to be with the leaders of the people of Israel. Or Joshua 1:9 is one of my favorite scriptures. It talks about being strong and courageous. Don't be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Jesus' last words to his disciple in the Great Commission in Matthew. Jesus says, "And behold, I am with you always, even to the end of the age." And God will use challenges and trials in our lives, our church, our country, to bring us closer and deepen our relationship with him. And we need to take advantage of that. God brought calamities to the people of Israel during the time of the judges in order to bring them back and strengthen their relationship with him. In fact, there was many cycles that were brought out. The people would sin against God and forget him. They would cry out to God. God would give a deliverer, a judge. He would mobilize the country. Through God, they would bring victory, and God would bless the country. And then soon the people would forget God again. And this happened over and over. One of my favorite judges is Gideon, and the scripture brings this out very clearly. The Midianites were oppressing the people of Israel, and Gideon was called by God to be a deliverer for them. But God teaches us a special lesson in this, because he picked Gideon, one of the weakest members of his family, so he says, and of his clan. In fact, he even comes to Gideon, and in Judges 6:12 says, "And the angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, 'The Lord is with you, O mighty man of valor.'" And he was not a mighty man of valor yet, but God knew what he would become. And God is very optimistic on what we can become. So Gideon claimed weaknesses. He was a coward, but God said, "No, I am with you, and I shall strike the Midianites as one man." And so through a series of tests, we've heard about the fleece, and then also God had an army for him, but he had ways of eliminating the army or bringing it down to a lower level. And in fact, it says in chapter 7, verse 2, "The Lord said to Gideon, 'The people with you are too many for you to give you the Midianites into their hands, lest Israel boast over me and say, my own hand has saved me.'" So God wanted the glory for this, and God should get the glory for all victories in our life that he gives us. And so you know this story. God delivered him with only 300, and God richly blessed that country. And so at this time, we need to take advantage of the opportunity that God gives us with this trial. It's been said, use the time to your advantage, don't let the time use you. And others have said, strengthen your relationship with the Lord through prayer and the reading of his word. That is really wisdom. Reach out to your family and friends. My favorite passage in the Old Testament is in Jeremiah 29:11 through 13. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Then you will call on me and come and pray with me, and I will hear you. You will seek me and find me if you seek me with all your heart." And that's what God really wants us to do. Let's take advantage of this time and seek God with all our hearts. He will bless us, and I know we will appreciate what he has done. God bless you, and thank you for listening.